LoreWarrior Aerotech, the Vandal. Overview. Though the Vandal is the most manoeuvrable fighter in use amongst the clans, its small size limits its versatility, and many clan commanders refrain from giving it a full combat role. In most situations, such a fighter would either be withdrawn to rear echelon units or scrapped entirely. However, all the clans maintain a few Vandals for high-speed reconnaissance missions, and the current conflict with the states of the Inner Sphere has led several clan units to employ Vandals for high-speed strikes. Indeed, the years since the Great Refusal have brought the Vandal renewed popularity, particularly amongst the more aggressive home clans, who regard it as a cheap means of power projection. Capabilities. The primary Vandal configuration is a high-speed reconnaissance vehicle, often acting as the eyes of a trinary or cluster. This fighter carries an active probe. Though the pair of small lasers mounted in the nose is intended for pilot's defense, some have tried to use them against targets on low-level passes, hoping to gain some glory. The primary configuration also carries an extra ton of fuel, which gives it the best endurance of all variants. The A configuration carries a pulse laser in the nose in lieu of the active probe. It's most often used to deliver a precision bomb onto a target. Approaching at supersonic speeds and at treetop height, this variant usually carries out missions against installations or command centers, delivering its payload before the defenders even have time to react. The B variant mounts a plethora of extended-range small lasers and is commonly employed for strafing ground attacks. Rather than carry any heavy bombs that would hamper its phenomenal agility, it swoops down swiftly and unexpectedly, making a pass against its target at high speed and then returning from a different direction. The distinctive triangular weapon mount in the nose of the Vandal C makes identification in this variant simple. Unfortunately, many opponents have come to recognize the configuration and exploit its weaknesses. The Vandal D, which first appeared in 3063, has a similar weapons configuration, but has gained particular popularity amongst Clan Hell's Horses, who favour it for its forthright design and aggressiveness. Deployment. Historically, the Vandal has been assigned only to freeborn warriors, and the threat of being issued a Vandal usually sufficed to keep even the most disobedient freeborn pilot in line. The design's recent battle history, however, has convinced many to re-evaluate the Vandal, and it's gained grudging respect as a scout and pursuit aircraft. Notable pilots. Star Commander Lenora. Assigned to the 108th Mechanized Cavalry on Tokasha, Star Commander Lenora gained legendary status by piloting her light fighter against a Jade Falcon incursion, despite being outmassed by 10-1. Her fighter gutted and herself forced to eject, Lenora spent 6 weeks undergoing regen therapy, but her unwillingness to capitulate to the attackers is cited as a classic example of the Hell Horse spirit. Pilot Wium. A warrior of Kindra Faraday Tanaga, Wium is slight even by the standards of his phenotype, but for all of his frailty outside the cockpit, his skills inside the craft, currently a B configuration Vandal, stand the fire mandrels in good stead. However, despite his skill, Wium looks set to be denied a blood name. Though gifted in aerial combat, his matrilineal descent comes via the generic Faraday line, and in unaugmented challenges, he's struggled to overcome the more robust members of his blood name house. His failures in these challenges, 3 to date, have only spurred him to greater effort. Though a generation older than most competitors, he remains determined to take his place amongst the blood-named and in the breeding program. Yeah, Pilot Wium just want to get his end away. Poor guy. Maybe he will one day. Who knows? Maybe we can write a story together. Anyway, the Vandal. Mass, 30 tons. Frame, pattern, 67. Power plant, 360 XL fusion. Armor, Tokasha Foundry Series 9. Ferro, aluminium. Armament, 3 tons of pod space. Manufactured by various groups. Primary factory, various locations. Communication system is the SL Interlink 5. Targeting and tracking is the Gatekeeper Model 5. So, it's a 30-tonner, has a 14 safe thrust movement, 21 maximum thrust, it has 14 structural integrity, which translates to 10 double heatsinks with 20 dissipation. It has 29 armor on the nose, 20 on left and right side, and 17 on the rear. Now, for the configurations itself, because obviously a lot of the write-ups don't really kind of go into a hell of a lot of detail, because that would mean the capability section would be feckin' huge for Omniviters and Omnimex. But the primary is 2 ER smalls in the nose with the active probe, but the A configuration is a pulse laser. Now, it's a medium pulse laser with the 2 ER smalls in the wings. The B configuration is 6 ER small lasers spread across the nose and the wings. The C configuration, the one that's the most popular, is a trifecta of ER medium lasers. So I guess the weakness there is they're all nose-mounted weapons, I guess. Maybe it's a little hotter, although 20 double heat sinks doesn't seem that bad. Well, 10 double heat sinks for 20 heat. I guess just because it's nose-mounted, I guess, or there's like a range issue, or so, I don't know. I don't know what the big weakness is there. Now, the Delta configuration is probably the most hard-hitting, because it's a trio of heavy medium lasers, and those are spread between the wings and the nose. So I suppose it's got a better sort of setup there. Maybe there's something about like BattleTech aerospace rules that having nose-mounted weapons makes it harder for you to fire. It has to be on a specific line on the hexes. I don't know. It's actually one of the games I've never played. I've played tabletop Aerotech or aerospace before, so I don't know. Someone who has could probably explain this, why the 3 ER medium configuration is somehow a big weakness. I mean, it does make a point to say that once it's recognized, it's easy to exploit the weakness. So I'm guessing there's something there. But the Vandal, it's a cool looking ship. I quite like it. It's got wings and fins all over the place. It's awesome. It's like a rocket ship. It looks like there's like a kind of retro kind of aspect to it with the single large thruster at the back, but it's got like the sort of swept wings and the angled down, and you've got the fins and the 2 smaller stabilization wings, and the whole thing, it looks great. It's probably a mess. I imagine trying to put a mini together of that thing was probably a bit of a bitch, especially when they made lead back in the day. You know what, I'd love to see Catalyst go after they've done the Kickstarter for the mercenaries thing. If they actually did decide, you know what, we're gonna relaunch aerospace, but we're gonna do it with plastics, where it would be a lot cheaper, and you just got like a couple of squadrons of aerospace fighters, maybe one representing, I don't know, let's go classic, let's go Davi and the other side Kurita, and maybe you get like some dropship models and stuff. Man, that'd be cool. And obviously the dropships don't have to be in scale or anything, they're just representative. Oh, that'd be great. They won't do it, of course, because aerospace probably sells worse than actual BattleTech minis, because that's the downside, unfortunately, for Catalyst, is they seem to have trouble doing the one thing for their war game, is getting minis out there quick enough. It's like Games Workshop, they are not. Or even any of the other war game developers out there. They just have trouble getting this stuff released. It's a real shame. But I quite like the Vandal. It's a cool little ship. So yeah, that's another Aerotech, another clan one. Because as I said with the bash gear, it's definitely one it's been a long time coming. Obviously, the clan aerospace stuff not really covered until the 3055 TRO. I guess because the big thing was the mechs. Oh, look, Omnimex, they're amazing. There's Omni fighters. They're just as deadly. So, I've rambled on enough. I'll see you all next time. Well, I won't see you, because no one knows what I look like. I don't know what you all look like. So I think it's fair that way. It's like an anonymous exchange. You just hear me, and you probably have an idea of what I look like in your heads. It's probably all very different and very odd. But know that I do have long, I don't know, I think I'd describe it as dark brown hair, I'd say. I don't know. I've not really paid that much attention to my hair that much, but I do know that I look a lot better with longer hair than I do with my hair cut short. So there you go. Anyway, see you. Bye.